The Memorial Day weekend is the symbolic start of summer, and a lot of Americans are on the move. But this year, traveling will cost you more. CBS's Chanel Call is in New York City with all the details. Chanel, good evening.
Jerika, it's an expensive start to the summer travel season, with everything from gas to groceries costing you more this year. Many Americans will be forced to make some tough choices. Families stocking up for Memorial Day barbecues this weekend are feeling the heat.
All of the prices shock me, just that they seem to go up every single time I go to the grocery store.
Americans now paying 20% more for food than 4 years ago. Inflation rose nearly 1% this month, mainly due to higher gas prices.
I don't even fill it up all the way anymore. Yeah, it's because prices are so expensive.
The war with Iran has raised the cost of fuel by 41%. The highest price in California, an average of $6.11 a gallon. The lowest in Indiana at $3.93.
I think the trajectory that we're on, we could see the national average at $5 at some point in June.
All of it hitting Americans hard. The University of Michigan Sentiment Survey finds consumer sentiment dropped to its lowest level on record in May. Americans feel worse than they did during wars, 9/11, and even the COVID-19 pandemic. Recent polling from CBS News shows 77% of respondents said their income is not keeping up with inflation. Despite bad sentiment, Wall Street is soaring. All major indexes have reached or are nearing record highs. A starkly different picture from what many Americans say they're feeling.
We just have to stay focused on working and continue to make the income from our family and keep a roof over our head.
And travel experts say over the course of this 4-day holiday stretch, Americans will collectively spend $2 billion more on gas this year than last year. Jerika?
Chanel Call in New York. Thank you.
This is Jeremiah 51:8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one unto his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. And we can see exactly where this is all going in real time, that Babylon is falling quickly, and it's going to be miserable for all these Babylonians out there that believed in this place, man. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. I hope and pray that this lesson be edifying to the elect. So, there's an article I came across from Zero Hedge, and it reads, everyone talks about the cost of gasoline. Soon everyone will be talking about the cost of food, right? So as we'll, read some of this article, the two go hand in hand, as the price of gasoline and diesel go up, naturally the trucks would have to charge more for the deliveries, which means the store that they got delivered to has to charge the consumer more for the products that they received, whether it be food or, paper products, toilet paper, what have you, So that's, and the people, aren't making any more money. And in fact, people are losing jobs, So it's a real circle in the drain effect that's happening in Babylon, man. As we speak. And then I seen that the U.S. just struck Iran again, so, it's not, none of this is going to be fixed anytime soon. If any, it's just going to continue to get worse. So let's see. So let's read some of this article. It's a little lengthy, but try to get through it. And Lord's will, this is edifying as always. So it says, for most people, the price of gasoline is the most obvious consequence of the war in the Middle East. As I write this article, the average price of a gallon of gasoline in the United States is $4.56. Of course, in some parts of the country, consumers are paying much more than that. This is a big story, and the truth is that gasoline prices are going to get even higher in the months ahead. Right? Let me get that scripture while I'm thinking about it. This is Haggai 1:6. Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes, man. So people are not able to, people are depleting their savings accounts. They're obviously their bank accounts, they're maxing out their credit cards. People are living paycheck to paycheck. I seen an article, even people that are making 150, 200, 300,000, they're living a year, they're living check to check, so this place is through, man. And that's why you have people like Elon Musk coming out and mentioning UBI, and which is universal basic income, and AIs, robots are going to take over, and so we already see where this is going, man. It says but if you think that the price of gasoline is bad, just wait until you see what eventually happens to food prices. The price of diesel has been rising even faster than the price of regular gasoline, and fertilizer prices have been absolutely skyrocketing. Those costs will get passed along to the rest of us. It is just a matter of time. Meanwhile, our farmers are dealing with drought conditions that are unprecedented, and now a super El Nino is coming. What all of this means is that food prices will rise to very painful levels, and that's another scripture. He's talking about the farmers. Let's get that. There we go. 2 Ezra 15:13. They that till the ground, the farmers, shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. So there's all these talks about droughts. And this article is speaking about the price of fertilizer. And they've been talking about these things for farmers struggling for a couple years now. And that's how it's the famines are on the way, as Yahawashi spoke about in Matthew the 24th chapter. It says, so even though everyone is complaining about rising gasoline prices at the moment, one prominent economist is warning that the next story is food. The cost of food in the U.S. appears poised to rise sharply alongside oil prices as war-related supply disruptions put pressure on the companies and farmers who keep the country's shelves stocked. The big story right now is oil. Economist Justin Wolford said on MS Now on Tuesday, the next story is food. Oil prices have risen over 50% since the conflict began on February 28th, pushing gas prices to a nationwide average of over $4.50 a gallon for the first time since 2022. Can you imagine what would happen if food prices were to rise another 50% from current levels? It should be fucking unbearable. Let's get the script real quick. Where is it at? 2 Kings 6 and 25. It says, as a result, there was a great famine in the city. The siege lasted so long that a donkey's head sold for 80 pieces of silver, and a cup of dove's dung sold for 5 pieces of silver, man. So a cup of bird droppings is selling for 5 pieces of silver. That's how bad, it got at that time. And that's, what's going to happen in these times, man. When you go to the store, what's that, let's get it, this is Revelation 6 and 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and thou shalt not hurt the oil and the wine. Let me see. I want to get in the. I don't know if it was the NIV. What was it, Matthew 6? No, not Matthew. Revelation 6 and 6. Yep. Revelation 6 and 6 in the NLT. And I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings say, a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay. And don't waste the oil, the olive oil, and the wine. So imagine, everybody works, everybody works more. Most people work more now, pretty much working every single day. But, imagine, if you, for example, you do a app job, or just, regular, 9 to 5 type of job, and you figured out how much you make each day that you work, and it would take one whole day of your work just to buy a loaf of bread. A loaf of bread is, depending on what kind of bread you get, $3-4 maybe. So imagine you make $100 a day, you got to pay $100 for a loaf of bread. That's where it's coming. So if the prices went up 50% than where they are now, if you're paying $5 for your favorite loaf of bread, all of a sudden you're paying $8, $9, $10 easily. And then it's gonna be shortages and all that. So then it's gonna make it go up even more. So Babylon's coming into some very dark times, man. And if you don't have Bahasham, Yahawashi on your side, you're through. It says, over the past year, many of the most common items that Americans purchase at the grocery store have already become much more expensive. When compared to the same time last year, fruits and vegetables have seen some of the biggest price hikes. Tomatoes are 40% more expensive now than they were this time last year. Bad growing weather, right? So just like the scripture said in Second Ezra, those that till the ground, shall mourn, man, right? Because of the weather that's going on, tariffs and rising fuel prices have all contributed to the huge change in tomato prices, reports from the New York Times. Coffee, another imported product, is 19% more expensive than it was last spring. You're also likely seeing inflated prices at the butcher counter. Meat is up 9% overall, but beef has grown even more expensive. Ground beef is about 15% pricier. Beef roasts are 18% more, and steak is up 16%. I mean, and it makes sense that these devils would do things like that, because they don't want anybody eating, meat. They want people to eat bugs and shit. These devils gotta go, man. We could blame the war with Iran for the recent price hikes that we have been experiencing because the war has made diesel much more expensive. And diesel is used to transport most of what we eat, right? On the 18-wheeler trucks and everything, they use diesel. What's contributing to the price hikes? Fuel prices have soared while the Iran war prevents cargo ships from passing through the Strait of Hormuz, a vital corridor for global oil supplies. Diesel fuel powers fishing boats, tractors, and the trucks that ship 83% of U.S. agricultural products, man. So, I mean, that's a major blow, to to Babylon and around the world. Just as you're paying more at the pump, so are truckers who transport goods all around the country. Some vendors and suppliers are adding fuel surcharges to make up for the increased cost of their transporting and delivering their goods. So, as the saying goes, shit rolls downhill. So, the truckers got to pay more, then they're gonna charge, the who they're supplying to, the stores and what have you. And then since the store has to pay more, then that means they're gonna charge the consumer more to make up for the, extra costs, and that's how it goes, man. So it always ends up at the consumer level. In addition, fertilizer prices have gone absolutely haywire, and those costs will be passed along to us once harvest season arrives. Let's see. Political. Says, and on top of everything else, now a super El Nino is rapidly approaching. We are being warned that it could potentially be the most powerful super El Nino in history. Let's see. I feel like I know what that is, but let's look it up. It's not on search all. Yep, a super El Nino refers to an unusually strong warming of the ocean surface in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean, which historically triggers extreme global weather shifts, including heavy rainfall in some regions and severe droughts in others. So, yeah, just like the scripture says, it's going to be, let's get it again, Salakia. I'm still quoting it. 2nd Ezra 15 and 13. They that till the ground, the farmers, shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation, man. So that's the times we're entering into. It says scientists have warned that an imminent super El Nino could be even more powerful than a previous event which caused over 50 million deletions. 1877's El Nino was one of the most severe climate events in recorded history, triggering a global humanitarian disaster known as the Great Famine. And that's coming once again, The famine's coming. So let's get that, get a couple more scriptures, and that'll be the lesson. So this is, let's get book of Matthew. And this is how we measure the time diligently. We go out, we see these stories, and we filter them through the scriptures. Matthew 24, and I'll start at I'll go straight to the point. 6. I'll start at 3. This is the point. And as he sat, Yahawashi sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world, the end of Esau's world, the end of Esau's rulership, Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man? And Yahawashi answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. That's talking about the whole thing with Iran. Those small hats just bombed Lebanon, I believe, yesterday or 2 days ago. So there's wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. Which is what we're talking about today, in this article. The things that are coming. Excuse me. And pestilences, all these diseases we're hearing about, Ebola, the hantavirus, right? And earthquakes. We hear about earthquakes all day, every day, in diverse places all over the world. All these are the beginning of sorrows, man. So we are indeed in that time, and Babylon is beginning to feel it. Isaiah 24:7. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. So people, there's just not there's not the around all the different holidays, it's not the joyous occasions as it once was here in Babylon, man. People are always, everywhere you go, people are complaining about the price of food, price of gas, the cars are breaking down. I hear more people's brakes squeaking up and down the streets, even in Edomite neighborhoods. More than ever, people got duct tape on their freaking bumpers to keep the shit up. People got expired inspection stickers, expired tags, tickets on their cars. They got boots on their car. People were just, Babylon is suffering, man. They shall not drink wine with a song, and strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Right? So people are heavily medicated. People, smoking weed all the time, drinking all the time, trying to, escape, the reality of the situation. And hoping it, they're hoping and praying that it will get better, but it's not going to get better. Like the opening scripture, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, man. So this place is through, man. Many great miseries are coming. Let's get that. The second Ezra 8. Yep. Second Ezra 8. Oh, so I could. Second Ezra 8:50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride, man. So many great miseries are coming to you, proud ass, Edomites, you proud ass heathens, and you proud ass 2/3 of the nation of Israel, man. Especially here in Babylon, man, aka America. Baruch 4:30. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee, right? Jerusalem is a people for a place, right? You Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and our fellow brethren that were scattered amongst the heathen nations that may look like the heathen nations, but their seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Because we were during one of the curses in Deuteronomy 28 and 64. You know, that diaspora, we were scattered, and our seed was mingled. The seed of Israel was mingled amongst all nations, so Israel will come looking like everybody, but primarily the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, Baruch 4:30, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. Who did that? Our enemies. Starting with our top enemy, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They rejoiced at our fall. They still rejoice. But now the curses are going on them. And now they're being more and more miserable, man. In that opening clip, it was mainly Edomites that you seen up there talking, complaining about food prices and gas prices, man. And that's the curses going on their asses, man. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. You know, so none of us sincere brothers, a few sincere sisters, should give a damn at all. Don't care, actually rejoicing at these devils going through it, man, and the curses going on them, All praises to Bahasham, Yahawashi, man. So, that's pretty much it. I came across this article, want to do a lesson on it, and as always, I hope and pray that it was edifying. And in closing, I want to thank Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawashi once again for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing on what's out of this bitch. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom, abba, ball, and kwam yasharala. Hey, shalom. To the next one.